Hello, everybody. April 29th is Denim Day, and we're very lucky to welcome the Executive Director of Peace Over Violence, Patti Giggans. She's been the Director of Peace Over Violence since 1985. She has a black belt in karate and a master self-defense trainer. She founded Karate Women, the first martial arts women's school in Southern California in 1976, but she also founded Denim Day, an international sexual violence prevention education program. Patti has held numerous statewide and national leadership and advisory positions in sexual assault and domestic violence arena, including the California Domestic Violence Advisory Council. She is the former president of the California Coalition of Against Sexual Assault and founding board member of the California Partnership to End Domestic Violence. She's here with us to talk about the meaning behind Denim Day and also to encourage all of us to get involved in this very worthy cause of preventing sexual assault from happening in our communities. Patti, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so really honored to be amongst you and to talk about Denim Day, and also in conjunction with the time that we're in right now. We had to figure out, how do we do Denim Day 2020 when there is no gathering? Because Denim Day has millions of people ordinarily who gather on colleges and universities and everywhere, companies, and they wear jeans and denim on purpose to raise awareness about sexual assault in all its forms. And here we are in a pandemic, which is, traumatizing for everyone. And we also know, as you've been speaking about, that home is not safe for everyone, and we're supposed to stay at home to protect ourselves and each other. And so what we're doing with Denim Day is really saying, let's pause and include the victims of sexual assault and domestic violence from this perspective. Because yes, we are in a pandemic, but there's been an epidemic of sexual and domestic violence for years, for decades, forever. We started to get a handle on it in the last 20, 30 years, and we can't stop now, and we can't let a pandemic let us just, let it go away. So we are still raising consciousness. We're doing education. We're going virtual, like everyone is. I have an amazing Denim Day team that's been developing all kinds of platforms and virtual gatherings. So Denim Day, April 29th. This is our 21st year.
Patti, can you tell our viewers how Denim Day came about? Not Denim Day, but what's behind it that created Denim Day?
Yeah, there is a great story behind the creation of Denim Day, and it was a kind of almost serendipity moment. But there was an Italian court case whereby a man was convicted of raping a 17-year-old, and he was actually in prison. And they appealed, and the Supreme Court in Rome, this is an Italian case, decided to overturn the lower court's decision, saying that, and here it comes, she was wearing tight jeans, therefore it could not have been rape. She had to help him get her jeans off because they were tight, therefore it was consent, and he goes free. Well, the Italian parliamentarian, the women went nuts in Rome, and they staged a protest wearing jeans. And in Sacramento, our leaders in Sacramento were on the steps of the Capitol back then, and they wore jeans. And I saw that. I was like 1-2, kind of saw the story from Italy, saw Sacramento, and I just said, we all should be protesting these lies and imaginary stories that are made up about why women and girls and even men get raped. And so that started it, and it became a kind of a thing. But it's been a way to attack a very serious problem by engaging people from the clothing aspect, which is one of the myths. It's what you wear. we've been going at it for over 20 years. And I think we, you know, again, along with all the other efforts, the other campaigns, I think we're starting to change people's minds about these intransigent, harmful attitudes about rape, sexual violence, sexual harassment.
Well, Patti, that case illustrates how sometimes the victim gets put on trial in those cases. Nowhere else do you really see that in any other type of crime than you do with sexual assault. What did you do? Where they ask the victim, what did you do to invite this person to violently sexually assault or rape you? So I know, because I've talked to you before we got on here, that there are a lot of things going on right now virtually that people who are listening to this might be able to get involved, and things you've already done already, because really Denim Day should be Denim Week, because things don't just happen on the 29th, they happen the whole week. So tell us about some of the more interesting things that have taken place to commemorate this, and tell us about your T-shirt so we can get one, but also what's happening on Denim Day actually to make sure that even though we can't gather on the steps of Sacramento,
right,
where can we gather virtually to make this important statement?
Yeah, I want to send everyone to our website, denimdayinfo.org. It has all the list of all of the different activities that are going on this week, that have gone on all month. You know, and you can get T-shirts, and we don't really treat it as one day. This is a year-long thing, but we focus. You know, it's a way for us to really hyper focus, and we feel that jeans have become our social justice garb, really. You know, I mean, we all wear jeans, and it's a very pedestrian garment, but it also could be high fashion. So we say, you know, make a fashion statement with your social justice statement by standing in solidarity with rape survivors and child abuse survivors. And now we're saying, wear your masks. We're going to be wearing masks for months. And here's my denim mask. So, so I saw it earlier that people.
There goes Jeff Rosen.
I know. Where's my mask?
So having visible ways of you know, acknowledging, but the theme for Denim Day is solidarity, and there's so many ways that we can be in solidarity, just like we are trying to be in COVID-19. We're trying to be in solidarity, respect the distance, respect the orders. We're staying at home. We're wearing masks. We're washing our hands till they're raw. You know, we're doing everything we can do to comply to the public health message, right? That's in solidarity. Well, we want to make sure that we include domestic violence victims, rape victims, child abuse victims, victims of elder abuse, from all different communities in this idea of solidarity, which means let's not judge, let's not blame, let's really take in what they're going through, let's listen, let's support the organizations that are supporting rape survivors and domestic violence survivors. And it's just so important that we do not let up on these messages, because we have hundreds of years of oppression around women in particular being victimized, among others. And it's just so important that we think of solidarity and include domestic violence and sexual assault victims in that idea and in that humanity of solidarity.
Patti, I know you've probably dealt with a number of women who've delayed reporting this. And is there any particular message you want to send to them? I mean, I think your message of solidarity really resonates with us. You know, women who've been through this still feel shame. They're embarrassed. They feel like they'll be victimized all over again if they report it by, you know, in the court system. Some have PTSD. You know, it's not uncommon for sexual assault victims not to be able to even relate intimately with others that they should be relating with. And they may not have heard of Denim Day, but is there any message that you'd want to give to those women who may be experiencing not only, like the rest of us, the coronavirus trauma, but also, the emergency, but also the trauma of sexual assault?
Yes, as Jackie, as you know, and all of you know, we know so much more about trauma now. The neurobiology of trauma, the impact on the brain, the impact on the body. Trauma stays in the body. So now we understand why domestic violence and sexual assault victims sometimes get their story mixed up, or the story may change. And I know all of you have done trainings and are more open to understanding what really trauma does to a person. And that's what we have to keep educating about, and to let also victims know that we understand that you're not going to get everything right and precise. And yes, there's going to be backlash, but so many of us want to be there to support. We're trying to develop much better systems. We've been perfecting the systems. So I don't want people to, because they hear stories and because it's hard, I don't want them to not reach out. I like to talk sometimes about telling people that maybe this is the time. You've been brave before. This is the time to be brave. Pick up that phone. If you're not reporting to the police, report to an advocacy agency. Call the DV hotlines. Call the sexual abuse hotlines. We can help you report. And if you don't want to report, you can still have a choice to get healthy and to get support and not be trapped in that trauma and blame yourself for years and years. You can go from victim to survivor to thriver to warrior.
So true. That is an important point. We as prosecutors know it's up to the victim of sexual assault whether he or she wants to testify in court, but that doesn't mean that you can't get help. You should get help. It's not conditioned. We also want to let people know that you don't have to be a citizen of this country in order to get the services any of us are providing. We don't ask those kinds of questions. You just come forward. We'll be there to meet you at the door, meet you halfway, whatever. What we care about is that if you are victimized and you need help, we're there to make sure you get that kind of help. And just because the court system is closed, we can still get protective orders. There's so much that we can do. The earlier you report it, the better. We can't stress that enough from a prosecutor's point of view, because then we'd be able to get digital evidence to help. But even if you haven't reported, don't worry about a statute of limitations. We're open, police are open to taking those reports, and we have taken reports from cases that have happened a long time ago. But Patti, I want to thank you, because often as prosecutors, we're so busy focused sometimes in on the court case, and we care about the victim, but we don't really have the time or the expertise necessarily to help them with life beyond the courtroom. Right? And groups like yours, you empower victims, you're there for them, you provide services. I know that you guys are fundraising and also, and are a nonprofit, and a very worthy nonprofit. But I want to thank you guys, because years ago, there wasn't really anything we could hand people off to. But
Jackie, do you know that we're the first sexual assault, domestic violence agency in the country? Right here in LA.
I did not know that.
We're doing.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Not surprised.
And good old creative LA. Denim Day started in LA, right?
Yeah.
I know you're all from other cities, but it's California, and I just had I had to wave the LA flag for a minute.
Well, I'm going to say that we have Bay War, also one of the first, right? Still going strong. Can I just add one more thing to what Patty's talking about and Jackie? For victims, that if they go to the hospital, there's no charge. Victims do not get billed for any of these services. Some people are afraid to go get help because they think, I don't have the money to pay for it. And the state of California and the funds that the district attorney's office are able to navigate make it so victims do not get charged. In fact, it's against the law to charge a victim for those services. So that's an important message for people to know. is that they don't have to pay for their own treatment. We will work with them. We will help them in that regard.
And also when they come to the domestic violence centers and the sexual assault centers or our dual agencies across the state of California, we set up we have an amazing network. We work in collaboration throughout the state of California. And we have fantastic people running these different organizations. And we are really there. And during this pandemic, none of us are abandoning the victims of sexual assault and domestic violence. And we understand the fear of COVID-19 at the same time, having to deal with the trauma, what may be going on in their home or on their bodies.
Right. I think that that's, you know, that's such a good point, that even though with the virus, there are a lot of things that are closed, but the door to justice should never be closed. And it never will, as long as there are people who are committed to keeping it open. And so I just want to remind people, go to peaceoverviolence.org, I think is your website, correct? And make sure.
denimdayinfo.org.
Oh, I'm sorry, denimdayinfo.org. I know several of us are wearing our denim in solidarity, maybe pants, but maybe not. But we're in solidarity with you all, and just really appreciate everything you do for victims of sexual assault, and pray that one day we don't really have to commemorate this as much, because people become aware that this is just not acceptable in any part of the world.
I know we might have had some slides to show, but I wanted to say our tagline.
Okay.
There's no excuse and never an invitation to harass, abuse, assault, or rape.
Right.
No excuses.
Right.
No more excuses.
No more excuses.
Patti, I'm just going to say this. You represent all of the incredible service organizations all over the state of California. There's no question. Every one of us sitting here today is thinking about the service providers within our own counties. And so I think for all of us, we just thank you and thank all of the providers that are helping us really prevent domestic violence, sexual assault, child abuse. And just thank you for what you're doing. And thank you for bringing us Denim Day many years ago. So,
Thank you
thank
so
you
much.
everybody else that's on this Zoom cast of hopefully educating and informing all of our constituents. Because I think as someone said, we can't do it alone. We have to all do this together, as I would say, in solidarity with Patti. So thank you all for being here today, and I look forward to another one soon.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.